What is going on, full-time family? This is a first for us. I just got my phone activated and I'm at work, but I want to see how this works out. We're going to try and cover some of these topics just individually like we would do. But hey, I'm doing it from my phone, so this is a first. I want to see how this sounds and we'll check the quality after we're done. So, this is what we've got going on right now. Paulie Malinaggi, fucking Paulie McDougal's, is attacking you. He's attacking me. He's attacking the piece of shit MMA community and explaining why he wants to put Artem Lobov in a fucking coma. Well, I mean, I understand why Artem Lobov would want to put this guy in a coma at this point after the spitting and the slapping and the microphone hitting and all of the blatant disrespect from Paulie McDougal's leading up to this point. But with that being said, this is what Paulie had to say. He said, Lobov and the mixed martial arts community have really disrespected my sport in a lot of ways. Boxing, saying that we fight with pads on and it's not a real fighting sport and whatnot, but we have all the deaths. We have more of the deaths by a long shot. We have more of the permanent damage by a long shot. This is not to diminish the danger of mixed martial arts or any other combat sport, but there's a reason why boxing has more deaths and more traumatic brain injuries in one night, because we're the most dangerous combat sport. Now I have to pause them right there. It's actually because boxing's been around a lot longer than mixed martial arts, and it's 2019. Medical, everything, all the care and medical that is given to these fighters is a whole new level than it was back in the day when boxing was the only combat sport around and you saw more deaths. When's the last time you really saw a boxer die? Please tell me. This man's just said this like boxing is the murder capital of sports. Like, yo, we got people dying every other card, son. We're the danger. I think what it is Paulie's a little insecure here because it is true. Mixed martial arts fans do point out, which is, I think, a valid point, that it's not a full fight. How can you say it's a real fight when you have no skills? If me and you and a guy got into it outside of the squared ring that is a boxing match, and that man took you down, you have no defense. If he tried to submit you, grabbed one of your arms, grabbed one of your legs, grabbed your throat, you could not defend yourself. So that's what people say when they say boxing's not a real fight, because you're one-dimensional. And if there was no referee and shit was really going down, you would need more than just your hands. Even the people that say, yeah, but there's weapons in street fights. That's true. But if you're talking about a melee weapon, and this is another conversation for another day, I don't want to really get into that. But even if you are talking about with a weapon, if someone takes you down and you got a weapon, good fucking luck. If they can disarm you. There's a million different things you can do if you have more skills than just being able to throw your hands. So I think that's a fair criticism from the MMA community. And as far as boxers fighting with pads on, or pillows as I call them, yeah, it's an overstatement. They're not technically pillows on your hands. But to have gloves that are way thicker than any other combat sport. Not to mention there's bare knuckle boxing now. Just in the boxing alone. We can keep MMA and kickboxing out of this. We can just compare boxing to bare knuckle boxing. One of them has fucking layers and layers of pad, just thick pad. 10-ounce gloves, 12-ounce gloves, whatever you want it to be. The other one has bare knuckle. So yeah, you've got pads compared to other sports. So people are just being fair when they point out these criticisms of boxing. And Paulie Malinaggi's being a boxer, of course, he's going to defend that. So what does he have to say? Oh yeah, well, boxing's killed more people. It's not something to brag about anyways. Paulie Malinaggi, of course, we know not only is he biased because he's a boxer, but he's also biased because he doesn't like McGregor. And he's also biased because he's going against one of McGregor's teammates, Artem Lobov. And he's also biased because Paulie Malinaggi has looked like fucking human scum leading up to this fight. Fucking spitting on dudes and trying to get big and bad when there's an entire crowd around, when every single person in every single room knows that Paulie Malinaggi has no chance against Artem Lobov in a real fight. I'm talking about if there's not 20 to 30 people with cameras around. If these guys, for heaven forbid, found themselves as cellies. These guys just went to jail, you know, nothing serious, overnight, and they found themselves in the same tank, and they got into it. Paulie Malinaggi would have zero chances of winning that fight. And so now he's got to talk and spit and kick until the fight is over with. And with that being said, man, it is what it is. I think I've said enough on this video. This is really just a test, but this is something I could keep going on. Kind of got me hyped up a little bit toward the end. But hey, man, I want to know what you guys have to say in the comments. So let me know. What are your thoughts on Paulie Malinaggi attacking the piece of shit MMA community and explaining why he wants to put Artem Lobov in a fucking coma, man? It is what it is. What you think in the comments. I'm out.